Welcome to Menopause Diaries Unfiltered. I'm Jackie Grant, your host, with over a decade experience of working with women peri to post menopause, helping them to lose their next 15 to 20 pounds within 4 months without calorie counting, restrictive dieting, or spending all their time in the gym with natural solutions. I've delivered menopause workshops to councils, adult learning services, National Health Service in London, whilst running a community interest company that I deliver and host menopause and women's health cafes in my borough. This is Menopause Diaries, the podcast where we get real about menopause, the weight, the mood, the sleepless nights, the wins, the hard days, unfiltered, unscripted, and unapologetic. Can't even speak now. Unapologetically honest. Today's guest is Zoe Jeffer. Is that right? Founder of Nourish. Welcome, Zoe.
Hi there.
You okay, Zoe?
Hi there. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. So, Zoe, it's so great to have you on the show today. Tell me a little about you and your journey through menopause.
Okay, so for me, it seems to be when COVID hit, uh, symptoms started occurring, but I had no idea that they were actually linked to perimenopause. I honestly thought the little bit of weight gain around the tummy area was from all the banana bread we were eating, but I just couldn't put my finger on it, but I felt something was a little bit off. The first symptom that I actually experienced, which is I'm finding is more common than we actually realized, was the dry mouth. That was the first thing that hit me. And I thought, why am I getting that? And I was like, this doesn't seem like normal. This is really weird.
Mm.
But after a little while, just kind of thinking, to be honest with you, perimenopause didn't even come into my mind at that point, because in my head, menopause is a discussion that you have when you're in your 50s and your periods. There is no run up. There was never this knowing that there's actually up to 10 years where you'd be in your perimenopause transition. And when I went to the doctor for my 40 checkup, and I said, do you know what, something just doesn't feel right. And all I was told was, if you think it's perimenopause, then it probably is. And that was that end of that conversation. So I actually left feeling a little bit more confused than I did when I first went in. That was fine. But I knew that I was someone who wouldn't want to take HRT, not because I don't believe in it or I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's because I struggle with birth control. So my body does not like the synthetic hormones. And
Yeah.
I know this, and it's something I was just like, well, that's just not going to be something for me, because I know it's not, I know this is going to end up becoming more of a problem than a solution. So it was, what do I then look into? What would the natural, what would look for me natural? Yes, because every day it feels like you're getting a different symptom. So it was like, I won't be able to do this for the next, 10 years. And that's when I've got a background in food and nutrition. So the food and nutrition side of it did come into my mind. And I thought, well, you know what, let's go back to basics and think about what we're eating, what we can add, not necessarily restriction, because we don't want to do restriction. We spend our whole lives restricting ourselves. What can I add to what I'm eating on a day-to-day basis anyway? And that then led me to thinking, okay, food nutrition, started doing some research on what your body needs, not what is going to make me, what I think my body needs, what my body actually needs during this time. How can I nourish her and make myself feel better again? And that was, that was a lot of research, and that was a lot of understanding, and a lot of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and just thinking, right, we're going to start adding this in. And that's what I started doing. And I did start noticing when I was having the chia seeds, when I was having the flax seeds, I did start noticing the difference with that. And then it came to things like, so that was the physical side of it. It was like, yeah, great food and nutrition. But then it was the nervous system side of it. I had anxiety when I was driving. I would get the menopause rage, which is real. I would get, feeling overwhelmed, confidence. There was all these little niggly feelings that you've not had before that all of a sudden are starting to play in the back of your mind. And then obviously start reading up on it, and how when estrogen is declining, your nervous system changes. So I thought, right, how do I manage this? This is another section now. And then I thought, right, so I started looking into EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, a form of tapping. And it is so widely used with people, especially with children now. They're trying to introduce it to schools to help you manage those bouts of anxiety and stress that you get. And what started off me doing it for myself, because I just wanted to see if it would work, ended up being something that I ended up qualifying in. And I said, right, you know, this is something that is really, really good. So those moments when you feel overwhelmed, there is a tool that, I call it your toolbox, right? There's a tool that you can add to your toolbox to help you get through that moment when you're feeling a little bit just overstimulated or overwhelmed, or just feeling like, you know, I don't know what to do. And for me, it's just been a real game changer. And when I do need those 5 minutes, I can sneak away for those 5 minutes and be able to just kind of re-regulate myself again. And then bringing them both together. So the food and nutrition and the nervous system regulation, bringing them together, marrying them together. And then I created the nourish and release circle, which is exactly that. You keep what you need and you let go which doesn't serve you anymore. And that is the whole thing behind it. But that has what's really helped me, because menopause is such a lonely time if you do not have any understanding or you don't know of anywhere to go to. And that's why podcasts like this, where you're kind of bringing that to light and sharing that information with other women, is so needed. So yeah, that's me really in a nutshell. So thank you.
Yeah, Zoe, thanks for sharing that. It's really funny because I had the same thing in terms of driving. Do you know what I mean? It's so mad. And I mean, I'm still a bit nervous to drive somewhere far. Do you know what I mean? Like on the motorway. Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying when it comes to that. And EFT, I mean, I learned EFT when I used to work in drug and alcohol services. So I do still use it in my service as well. And it is such a good tool because you can take it anywhere. That's the thing, isn't it? You can just take that anywhere. You've got your hands.
The car, but that's driving, you got that battle of like, oh no, you can do a couple of rounds and get yourself really focused and just take that thing away. But the driving anxiety one was so bizarre, because I've been driving since I was 18 years old and I have never ever been afraid or overthought it at all. I mean, it wouldn't even just be me, it'd be me sitting in the car with my husband and the poor guy's just like, don't hit the car. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to hit the car. It's just, it really translates. And you honestly, it's one of those things that only now because people are talking about it, but I wouldn't have even thought in a million years that could be linked to that is something that you could be experiencing. I mean, I wouldn't have even thought. It's only now because we're talking about it and people are like, and it's funny because I speak to so many women and so many women say the same thing. The driving, the parking, the how much they're checking the sat nav like constantly, you know, second guessing yourself, thinking everyone's going. It's these things that just, again, no one talks about it. So you think it's just me. I'm just the only one, and you're really not.
Yeah, exactly. You're just really not the only one. That's the thing. It's funny that you get it when your partner's driving. Do you know what I mean? Because that's not something I've noticed. I haven't noticed. What I do notice is that when he drives, he's right at the back of like another car, whereas I would not be that near. Do you know what I mean? I'm like this. I'm not even driving. It's so crazy. So, is there anything that you think has been a positive that around menopause that you've noticed in yourself?
Do you know what? I often say, I hear a lot of women say to me that I just want to go back to being me. How long is this going to last? Because I want to go back to being me. I want to go back to the same size. I want to go back to the same, you know, skin. I want to go back to the same carefree. Like, I hear this all the time, right? And my answer to that is, you are now stepping into your 2.0 era. This is not the era where you make those, excuses and you have to people please anymore, which I feel the filter does go down. So the people pleasing and the, making sure that the one thing I've noticed, I'm not afraid to say now what I need to say when you've spent a lot of years back. And I think that is quite liberating. When you come from back there, you're kind of, always kind of told to tone it down. There is no toning it down now, because this is it.
Yeah, exactly.
I am, and this is what I need to say, and this is what I'm thinking, and this is so I think that has been a major positive, and also learning to accept yourself, because you can't change it. You're not going to be able to change it. You can't reverse the time. You can't. But it is that accepting yourself as you stand today and respecting your body for bringing you to where you are right now. There's a lot of women who've not had the privilege to. So you have to take that on board. And I think sometimes it's very easy to say, oh, menopause is the worst thing. Well, it's not, because you have to then think of all the positives that are going to come with it. We look at it negatively. In places like Japan and things, they call it your second spring. It's like it's almost like a promotion as a woman.
Yeah, and exactly.
Becoming a matriarch.
You are so right. In so many different countries, it's a renewal of life. It's something really positive, and us in the West seem to be on a negative train, which really and truly we just need to embrace it, because, like you say, you're not going to change it. You are where you are right now. Do you know what I mean? So how can you make it much more of a positive journey, and look at things that you might not have the kids at home anymore, you might not be looking after older parents and stuff like that, and if you are, that's part of life right now. That is what we have to do. But it's like, what would you have wanted to do and you're not doing it right now? Do you know what I mean? It's like really trying to look at those things and go, right, okay, I'm going to do ice skating, or I'm going to do, I don't know. That just randomly popped in my head.
Rediscovering yourself. I speak to women, I'll say to them, now the kids have grown up, gone to university, or they've moved out, or they're doing whatever. You and your husband got a bit more time, you've got family, you've got more to do what you want to. What do you enjoy doing? And I tell you, 90% of the time, I don't know what I enjoy. I've never had a Saturday to think to myself, what do I want to do today? Because I've been running around after the kids or going. It never has even crossed their minds that what do I like to do? What do I want to start doing? Up hobbies and things, because you think, oh, I'm too old to do that, or I'm too, like I say, I'm too old to do that, I can't do that, and you're like, no, but what do you enjoy? Like, what have you thought about doing in your all these years when you're raising your families or doing whatever, being so committed to work? What were you thinking? If I had the Saturday off, or I had the Saturday to myself, what would I want to do? And it is that rediscovering yourself, your pleasures, what you enjoy, what you want to do, how you want to spend your time. Which, again, liberating. It's liberating. We've been so closed up for all those years doing for everybody else. It should be seen as a time of, rediscovery and doing what you want to do.
Exactly that. I mean, the thing is, like you say, more time for yourself. Open that up, open your heart up to what you want to bring into it right now. So it's so important. It's so important. So what would you tell a younger you about menopause?
Embrace yourself. But also don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask and, understand what's going on. I think what happens is we get scared, or we don't understand, or we don't know. Like I said, I was so oblivious to the fact that menopause symptoms would start at 40 years old. Actually, even earlier, I met somebody that was 32 and has gone through menopause early. And it was stressing. I mean, we don't even think about these things. And she's, telling me that it's really difficult. We've got no one to talk to. So if it was rewinding back, I would definitely say find a community you can share what you're going through, because I think community is key. Find people who you can talk to and have a safe place with. But also, again, like I said, don't be afraid to ask the questions. Is this normal, or is this something that is being masked by something else? Because that's really important as well. We can't say everything is menopause, because sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes there could be underlying factors that are there that are masking as something else. So, you know, make that appointment, go to see the doctor. I think what's happened, and it's not, you know, it's not a case of being anyone's fault, but I think what's happened is because the training is so minimal, when you do go to see your doctor, they're going to give you the, you know, the standard, you know, this is what it is. And I think we have to take responsibility for our bodies and for ourselves as well, to a certain degree, and do that research, find out ourselves, do that reading, get online, find out what's going on and how. And the other thing is, it's so good, and we're talking about menopause symptoms, but it's then talking about how we can manage them. So what can you do in your day-to-day life that can help you? So we talk about EFT is a great form, because it is, like you were saying about the alcohol and because that is something that is used for addiction. And it's just getting those tools out there to show women that, you know, you don't have to do this solo, number one. But number two, go and do your research. Go find out what's available to you, because there are things about it. Look, 5 years ago, we were a little bit more behind. These past 5 years, it's coming to the forefront even more. Speak to your partners. I think speaking to your partners is so important as well. I mean, my partner gets it like 20, it makes me laugh, because I don't think any man knows more about menopause than I do, because I'm literally like, this is what my body's doing, and you need to, you know, because relationships get affected. Your libido gets affected. You know, you not be the same as you were a couple of years ago, and that can cause a bit of friction. So these conversations have to be had, because it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you as well. It's almost like, I'm coming in hard, everybody be prepared. But it's just having everybody around you be on the same page, and not think, your kids, like you want your kids to understand that, look, mum is your mum. Might be a bit snappy every now and then, but mum is your mum. I'm here for you. I love you. But this is what I'm going through. And just opening that door of conversation up. I've got a 20-year-old son. 5 years ago, it would have been cringe to have a conversation with them. I mean, I don't even think kids knew what menopause was, or they just thought their mum got a bit batty after, when she'd hit a certain age. Having that conversation and saying, listen, this is what's happening. And you know what my son says to me? He's like, I'm so proud of you, mum. I'm so proud of you, mum, that you're talking about things like this, because it's so important, isn't it? And I'm like, absolutely, because when you get married and you have a wife and she's going through, you will know what this is. You're not going to think, why is she acting so? Because that's what happens a lot of the time, isn't it? Women, it's like, oh, she's gone a bit weird, or she's not the same anymore, or she's like, they have no idea what's actually going on, behind the scenes, and what's. So those are things. I think lines of communication are so important. Talking to your children, talking to your parents, talking to your partners, your siblings. It's just very, very key to have these open conversations if we want to move forward, and if we want to open the doors to educate and learn more. So yes.
Exactly. So thank you so much, for being a guest today. Where can people find you?
So on Facebook, Instagram, Nourish Her Menopause. It's just, I just do share tips and hints. There's videos up there, just giving you a little bit of help. I've opened up an Etsy shop as well, which I've got some digital products on there. So if you're looking for a little bit of extra guidance or a bit of help, I'm just understanding. So I've just started that. There's actually a smoothie book being launched on there as well, just to kind of get those nutrients in, and just feel free to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and on LinkedIn it's as Doreen Jetha. So that's pretty much me.
Thank you so much. So thank you all for watching. and listening. If you have any questions for me or my guest, ask them in the comments, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care and bye.
Bye.